Alright. So, let's get started now, shall we? Turn flawless off. So, let's talk about the command grab. Right? So, we all know about a lot of the benefits of the command throw. And how it affects the blood gauge. It's like, it just starts going down. To be exact, it's just under... It drains just under 3 bars of blood. Over the course of, according to Dust Loop, 3 seconds. So, during this time... You can potentially have your blood gauge go back up after it ends, but it depends on A, where you started out before you got that command throw, and B, how many specials you did. Because notice how I'm at 0 bars of blood. I did a special right at the beginning and nothing else. It only goes up about 1/4. And then it starts dwindling back down. But if I say, do something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice how I'm about the blood rage now. While you can go a bit more crazy, you still need to make sure that you do the math. In terms of landing the command throw, compared to basically... Compared to the others, I command throw a lot less. This is mainly due to the fact that I generally structure my pressure around doing chip damage. So, let me see. What's a typical block strain I do to someone when I'm making them guess? So, something like... break trap, backdash. I started out at, like, low blood. Notice how much chip that did. Or something along the lines of... Like, this chip is nothing to scoff at. So, considering that the command grab lets you drain blood and basically gives you like a whole free bar, almost. You can take advantage of the specials that all do quite a sizable amount of chip damage. And create sequences where they can potentially take a huge chunk of their life and chip if they don't use flawless defense or burst the block string. But if you want comparisons in terms of chip, so let's look at the special. So, like, spin, it does a reasonable chunk. And then you have DP here. That does even more. And clone, it does like a moderate amount, but you're mainly using clone for the plus frames, not exactly for the chip damage. So with this in mind, you can generally, you want to fit in a reasonable amount of spins and DPs so that you force them to use their meter to FD to prevent the chip damage. Otherwise, stuff like this will happen. I overblew my blood a bit there. But like, notice how much health Kai is missing right now. So let's say, let's do a sequence from around 1.5. character is losing a lot of health right now. And this is assuming I didn't hit them before. Because you also have to factor in the fact that when you're doing all this chip after you landed the command throw, you can sneak in clones and or spin situations that can result in you getting another potential command throw. And then they have to try to guess press buttons. And then when they try to press buttons, well, you get the rest. But yeah, I can now do like a few more examples. So let's say you're basically running on empty. This will usually happen when you landed a second command throw in like a sequence. So let's say frame trap, basic combo. If you had resources, they died right there. Alright, let me command throw again. Your 0 on block, depending on the spacing, you might be +2, and then they're in the RPS situation. Just off of that small bit alone. If they block the clone, they're in a mix-up. Because obviously you're plus, and you're right in their face. However, we do need to factor in faultless defense. Because this definitely messes with the sequences. The main thing faultless defense will often do is that it can often make the DP whiff. Depending on what you meet with. So let's say you did something like this, and you try to go straight into DP. The DP will whiff. For that reason, you mainly want to start off with spin. And then at the farther ranges, the second hit of spin will whiff. But if they know this, and try to get out the way during that sequence, then you can easily just do this to them. Oh wait, wow, I didn't do it at proper spacing. Frame trap, the potential response was spin. You press 6H, and then they have to guess strike or throw. So now that I've kind of like gotten these kinds of sequences down, I generally don't stress the command throw that much. These block strings are not YRC safe. You do have to keep those in mind. If you're trying to if you need to check for YRC, some things you can try, space out your block strings a little bit more. Let me turn off flawless defense. And then they have to guess, are you going to backdash or not? Oh, Hotashi, IBFD. So if they IBFD in these cases, you should get pushed back to the point where DP will basically whiff. So let's say I did something like this. Yeah, DP will whiff if they IBFD the spin. But if you say got a dash momentum normal, you can still get some things. So if you say had dash momentum close S, you can still basically get a guaranteed spin into DP. Because you have to keep in mind, not only are you chipping them out, but you're also potentially frame trapping them. Because you can easily just vary up these timings. In terms of dealing with YRC, you mainly want to change up how you're spacing yourself in the block strings. Try to put yourself as far as you can, so that way a backdash cancel will basically make the YRC whiff. Or you can try using normals that are YRC safe, like say your K normals. Yes, spin is +2 when spaced. It's also plus when FD. It is 0 when point blank. Will 2S be space enough? If you space out the 2S, it'll be enough. But you preferably want to 6H, so that when you backdash cancel it, you'll be plus. But yeah, with that in mind, the reason why I don't command throw that much is that the chip alone generally does enough for me. And even if I'm not chipping them, I'm basically draining them of all their resources. Let me turn off YRC now and turn Flawless back on. So like, even when I'm not chipping them out like this, notice how much meter they're losing when I'm doing stuff like this. They can attempt to jump away, but they have to guess which button you're gonna do. But yeah, the command throw also like emphasizes me like going for this like really chip heavy pressure. Because even if I'm not chipping them, I'm gonna make sure that they lose all their meter. My go-to sequences. So, I guess one of them would be this. Usually when I land command throw, I am at 1.5 bars. Most of the time. So, generally to start off, I get a meaty 6H, and then from there, I force them to guess. Am I going to backdash? Am I going to backdash or frame trap? They have to guess right then and there. like backdash, frame trap, or just true trip. If I go for true chip, then I just do something along these lines. And after the DP, they have to guess again. If they didn't FD to make that second hit a DP whiff, they're forced into another guess. Am I going to do delayed spin the frame trap? Am I going to shoot the clone to try to force an RPS situation with strike throw? Or am I going to do immediate spin to keep it a true block string? For the person in the chat, the way the frame trap works is that when you delay special cancel his specials, it'll leave a small gap for them to try to get a button out. But the gap's not big enough for the button to hit you. But you have to time it correctly. Then when they get counter hit there, they will eat a ton of damage. You can also do the same thing from spin to DP. Both allow for frame traps. The second of them blocking the second hit of DP is mainly the fact that you're able to block confirm. Basically confirm the situation, and the second hit of DP does a lot of chip. DP overall does sizably more chip than spin, so long as you get the second hit of DP as well. But yeah, generally, the main basic sequence is that after the 6H, I make them guess on the frame trap. If they get counter hit there, or they get hit, that's a combo. Then the situation resets. They have to guess strike or throw. If they get in, you can easily sneak in a frame trap after the spin if you want. Or once they start respecting you, you can do like spin, it's a clone, force an RPS situation. They have to guess strike or throw. Go from there. But yeah, something like that puts me at around 2.5 bars once it's over. I try to keep it a little more tame, so if you need to keep it more tame, use more backdash cancels for the plus frames instead. It's not as tight because it gives them more time to try to do stuff, but it'll keep you below 2 bars if you need to. Oh yeah, the second option being backdash. When you backdash cancel heavy normals, like any of these heavy normals here, spin, or the second hit of DP, Nago is +2 on block. So, in these +2 situations, you're basically forcing the opponent to an RPS situation. How are they going to respond to the backdash? Are they going to try to jump? Press a button? Just sit there? Stuff like that. So yeah, generally, when I land a command throw, think of it as like a long-term investment. I was like, you get the grab, and then you're eventually going to potentially do a lot more damage to them without even needing to open them up. So something basically like that, when I start at 0 bars, will put me up to 1. If I'm at 1.5, or just over 1.5, I want to structure it a little bit differently. I'll basically end up back where I originally was with that. I did roughly half their health. Let's say I'm over 1.5, but I want to try going for a strike throw. They lost half their life in that sequence that they decide to not FD. Generally, if they're FDing a lot, the usual rule is that the second hit of DP will whiff. You'll need to make sure you do something else early. Like, say, one hit of DP into spin or something. Or into a dash. Cancel the first hit if they're FDing a lot. That way, you still make them use their resources. And if they FD spin, you're +2 minimum. +4 if you're spaced. But yeah, that's about it in terms of like the command throw talk. Mainly just wanted to get that out there. I just want people to take more advantage of the fact that you're basically getting a free bar of blood. And the fact that you do not have to actually open them up. But to answer that other person's question in the chat, clone into forward dash's frame advantage varies depending on distance. Oh, like point blank, it's around +2 on block. It's like between like +2 or +3. So close S will frame trap most things. But if you need to frame trap something that's really fast, then you need to press like a P button of some kind. If you're a little bit farther out like this, then you're far more plus. Like there was +7. Oh wow, I'm getting 6K. Yeah, like there it was like +7. Alright, cool. How do I get multiple close S's in a row? Generally, if I'm getting multiple close S's, I usually have forward dash momentum. Let me turn off counter attack actually. In combos, it's usually just a timing thing. You have to make sure they're high enough for it. So you can do stuff like that. Okay, I need to kill about 30 minutes unless this person responds to me. Alright, let's see if they respond. In the meantime, I need to, like, find a way to kill time. I guess I'll go in the lobby and actually play some matches myself.